the biggest challenge we're facing, and I think that this applies to all of pediatrics in general, is the amount of anxiety and mental health issues that we're seeing. I think it's unprecedented, the amount of mental health issues. And I don't think, at least in my training, and you guys share what your training was like, we really didn't get a lot of mental health training. I think the biggest shortcoming of my training is that I was never taught. When I was training, SSRIs were relatively new. They were out there, but they were relatively new. But we were never trained on how to utilize SSRIs. And I think it's a major shortcoming of our training, because there's just not enough mental health people around to take care of our patients. And we don't have the training to do it. And that creates a lot of problems. And I think we're really seeing a tremendous amount of mental health issues, whether it be the anxiety or the eating disorders that are up over 33% since COVID. And that's a major problem.
Yeah, it is. Don't you think that so I didn't go I love internal medicine, but I didn't go into internal medicine because of a female GI patient. She must have been in her 20s or 30s, young person. And she had every workup for this abdominal pain she had until she got to what is a he was a surgeon, but the proctologist. And he looked over her chart, it was this thick, and then he was a character. He was this Jewish guy, and he's crying, he's all he just looked at her and he said he couldn't have been more than late 40s. But he said to her, "There's nothing wrong with you. You're just crazy. I'm not gonna put you on the plane and look at your butt. For what?"
This was prior to Google reviews, by the way.
I know. He used to call it the chair the plane. I'm not putting you on the plane and looking at your butt. You've been worked up enough. You just need to come to peace with your mental illness.
That'll go over well today.
Oh God. And I'm like,
But I have to tell you, George, sometimes we do our patients a disservice, but not
by not telling them the truth. Not so
dance
harsh.
around the truth instead of saying, "Hey, you need a psychiatrist." I dealt with that this morning. I got a kid.
Yeah.
The kid's vomiting all day long, and she's got alternating constipation, diarrhea. She's had the workup, everything, you name it. She's had three endoscopy, colonoscopies. She's had a capsule endoscopy. She's had a CT. She's had an MRI. She had a labs up the wazoo. And now the kid's admitted in the hospital because school's about to start and she's vomiting. And the parents are asking me, "Oh, do you think we should repeat the capsule study again?" And I said, "I'll be honest with you. I think that she's got GI symptoms, but they are secondary to her anxiety. That's it. And she needs a really good psychiatrist."
Yeah.
Not 5 seconds after that, the mother goes, "So are we going to do the capsule endoscopy?" I said, "No, we're done."
But everything started in our room, in our office, our exam rooms. We know, and how do you not refer them to a GI?
Right. No, they've got to have their organic disease ruled out.
Yeah.
I was recently somewhere and this person comes over, he goes, "Oh, do you remember our daughter?" Now I said, "I'm really sorry. I really don't." So you saw him around 15 years ago. And I was like, "Oh my God, are they going to take out a gun and shoot me?" Like I said, "Oh, how's she doing?" She goes, "Oh, she's married. She has 3 kids." She goes, "Do you remember what you told my daughter?" I said, "I'm really sorry. I really don't remember." She goes, "You told her that she needs a psychiatrist." I said, "Oh, and how did it go?" She goes, "We left and we were really angry." She goes, "But then we went to somebody else who did an entire workup. And then we went to another person who did another workup." She goes, "And then we finally sat down and go, maybe Dr. Marciano was right. We need a psychiatrist." I said, "So what happened?" She goes, "We took her to a psychiatrist and she did really well." And sometimes the families aren't willing to accept it because mental health has such a bad stigma. But honestly, when they start to accept it and they realize it, those people do really well. If they can allow themselves to be open to therapy and to somebody helping them, they really do well, because being a kid today is really hard. It's not, listen, when we were kids, we were stupid. Honestly, when I was 16, what did we know? We knew from nothing. Did I know what the stock market was? Did I care about what the interest rate was? Did I care about the election? I didn't care about anything. Nothing.
But